To do this, Jason can navigate to the Inventory menu and selects the Pick and Pack and Pick and Pack Manager. By selecting Open Sales Orders by date, we can narrow down our selection. By clicking OK, we are now able to kick off the pick process for this sales order. The first step in the pick process is to review all of the information required for a warehouse manager, for example, to release the pick. Here we've got all of the transaction details, we've got the customer details, we can see which warehouse the items are stored, we can see how many items need to be released and what's available to be released, for example. Now we can select the items to be picked. We can release them from picking by selecting Release to Pick List. When releasing an item for picking, Business One offers a simple pick list generation wizard to really simplify the whole pick process. For this pick, we don't need to restrict the pick to a specific warehouse or bin sublevel, so we can click Next. And we don't actually need to manually decide how to split the pick. We can just use the default recommendation by Business One, so we can move on to the next step. In the pick list details, we can see that given 30 items have been ordered and only 25 items are contained in one bin location, 2 picks have been recommended in one document. To accept this recommendation, we can choose to generate the pick document. Now the pick has been released, we can now move to the Released drawer to find the pick document. We can now drill down into the pick list. The items have now been physically picked, so we can select Pick All to update this pick process in Business One. We can see the status of the document has changed to Picked, and now we can simply create a delivery document for these items by clicking Create. As you can see, we have the option to create an automatic or manual delivery for these items directly from within the pick list. We're going to choose a manual delivery to check that all the required data has been copied from the pick document. We can double check the bin location again as well. Here we can see that Business One has automatically allocated the right allocation for these items, and we can even see how much stock is still available in these bin locations. In order to finalize this delivery, we can add the delivery document to the system. In SAP Business One 9.0, we've been able to see how easy it is to manage a multi-bin location system fully embedded in the main business processes supported by Business One. In SAP Business One Release 9.0, there is a simple way to support items with multiple units of measure for different transactions such as sales and purchasing. At OEC Computers, Jason Butler receives a call from his customer David Brown of Parameter Technology. David would like to order a carton of white A4 printing paper, so Jason creates a sales order. He navigates to the Sales menu and selects the sales order form. He then selects his customer, Parameter Technology, and selects the required delivery date, which is in a week's time. He then needs to select his item. By clicking on the drop-down list and sorting by item description, we can easily find the printing paper that we require, which is A4 white. The default unit of measure for this item is sold in a 6-pack. The customer would like to purchase a carton, so by selecting the unit of measure code list, I'm presented with a list of all of the units of measure that have been defined for this sales item, and in this case I would like to select the carton. Given the quantity of the paper requested, Jason would like to check if there's enough paper in stock. So we can simply right-click on the row, select Available to Promise, and then we're presented with an inventory status, and we can clearly see that there is enough items in stock for this particular order. To also ensure that his customer is getting a good deal, Jason is able to check if any discounts have already been applied to this item for this particular unit of measure. And to do this, we can simply right-click on the row, select Price Report, and as you can see, this price is based on the regular sales price list. By drilling down into the price list, Jason can see that a number of discounts have been defined for the different unit of measure prices for this item within the regular sales price list. To support multiple units of measure, price lists can be updated for each unit of measure. So given there's already a 15% discount applied to cartons, there is no need to offer any further discount. We can also see that within a carton there is a quantity of 24, which is the inventory unit of measure. So there's 24 packs that are included in a carton. If we would like to see how this item is packaged, we can also drill down into the item master data by selecting the drill down arrow. By going to the Sales tab, we can drill down into the sales unit of measure code. This window displays all of the sales units of measure and package type definitions for this item. As you can see, a 6-pack is the default sales unit of measure for this item. If I click on carton, I can see that within one carton there is 24 units, and it can be packaged into one box. A 6-pack, for example, contains 6 units, and within one box you can have 4 quantity 6-packs per package. By clicking on the purchasing data, you can see the corresponding purchasing unit of measure codes, which by default for this particular item is a pallet. I can now add my sales order to the system. Now we have created our sales order, we can copy this sales order to a delivery. I simply navigate to Copy To and select the delivery document. The customer has just called to see if it was too late to add to their order before delivery. The customer would like to purchase some recycled paper as well. This time we would like to select our item using a barcode scanner, which is quite a common picking process in businesses. But for this example, we're going to go to the barcode field and click on the drop-down list. As you can see, there is a multiple number of barcodes defined for this item for each unit of measure. You can have a different barcode standard per unit of measure per item. And in this case, we're going to select our A4 recycled printing paper with this particular barcode. As you can see, the unit of measure default for recycled paper is a 6-pack, and the customer would like a quantity of 5. When I changed the quantity, you can see that the number of packages changed from 1 to 2, and this means that a quantity of 5 6-packs for this item will not fit in one box, but will require 2 packages. Again, I'd like to check the pricing for this item to ensure my customer is getting a good deal. So I can right-click on the row, select my price report, drill down onto the allocated price list, and again I'm presented with all of the units of measure pricing that has been defined for this item. And in this case, there is a discount of 7% already defined. Before I add the delivery document, I can easily view my packing slip. I can select the items that I would like to be packaged, and then I can easily select the appropriate type of delivery or package delivery which will be effective for these items. I can now add my delivery document. If I review my packing slip again for my delivery, I can now print out my packing slip, which will include all of the information I need for the items to be delivered. With the ability to group units of measure together based on a subset of conversion rules, companies are now able to establish common units of measure used in their business. These multiple units of measure can then be utilised across their master data, inventory and marketing documents, providing the flexibility to sell and purchase in any unit of measure required. Inventory counting is the recurrent activity in every item-based business. SAP Business One 9.0 has a new end-to-end inventory counting process to provide a dynamic way for counting and posting stock quantity differences and to view the counting and corresponding posting records. Jason Butler from OEC Computers would like to set up an annual inventory cycle count for selected items for his company. To do this, he navigates to the administration menu. He selects Setup, Inventory and Inventory Cycles. Here he is able to set up his inventory cycle, but first he needs to define a cycle code. To define the frequency of the cycle count, Jason selects Annually as a sequence. The system automatically suggests a date and time for the start of the cycle count. And now we can add this setup to the system. The next step is to define which warehouse and item group will be included in the cycle count. To do this, Jason navigates to the cycle count determination window. He then selects his warehouse that he would like to include in his cycle count, Warehouse 1, and then he selects the item groups that he would like to count, such as rainbow printers, and then assigns a cycle code next to the item group. He then clicks on the Alert checkbox. By assigning an alert against the item group set up for the cycle count, the person responsible will receive an alert in their message inbox if it is time for an inventory count. Now we have set up the inventory cycle details for this annual inventory count. Jason has subsequently received a notification in his inbox that an inventory count is due. He selects the message, and the alert details show which items from which warehouse should be counted. Jason is able to pick up a task by selecting the items to prepare for counting, and then clicks on Inventory Counting. We are now in the inventory counting window that contains all of the information for this cycle count of this item. Jason has requested help with the cycle count, so he selects 2 inventory counters for this stock take. Jason then enters the name of the second inventory counter, who happens to be Fred Beyer. By doing this, you can see that one more column has been added to the inventory counting window, which will capture the count results of the second stocktaker. Jason now wants to freeze the item that will be counted to ensure that the item is blocked from any business process until this item has been counted and the relevant postings made. And now we can add the inventory counting document to the system. Now the inventory counting document is ready, it can be printed out for the stock takers to fill out accordingly. This is the inventory counting sheet that will be printed out for both stock takers to use and to input their information. The cycle count has now taken place and the results now have to be entered into the inventory counting document. To do this, we navigate to the inventory menu, inventory transactions, inventory counting transactions, and we select inventory counting. We then navigate to the last record that we created. Now that the inventory counting window is open, we navigate to the Counter 1 count field and we enter the count of 69 printers. Fred only counted 68 printers, so we update the Counter 2 count field with 68. And then we update the document. The system automatically highlights the row in red to signal that the counted results don't match. Jason actually recounted the stock and confirmed that Fred's count was correct. So now we can copy the results to an inventory posting. To do this, we go to Copy to Inventory Posting and we select the Count 2 count results. The inventory posting window appears and we can now add this posting document to the system. Given that the printers are serial managed items, we have to select a serial number for the 2 missing printers to be posted to the system. So we do this by selecting from the available serial numbers and click Update. And then OK. Now we can add the inventory posting to the system, which finalises this inventory counting process. Jason would now like to preview the results from the Inventory Counting Transactions report. To do this, he navigates to the Inventory menu, Inventory Reports, and finds the Inventory Counting Transactions report. The Selection Criteria window offers many parameters that you can filter by. In this case, we will use the default parameters and click OK. You can see from this report what has been counted, when and where it was counted, and the actual variance result. The key benefits to this new end-to-end stock counting process in SAP Business One 9.0 is that it provides greater reporting accuracy for overall inventory management and supports a much more dynamic and transparent counting and inventory posting process. The whole process is much more flexible, from setting up count cycles to posting corrections of stocktake records.